Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Scots on the Run podcast, where we take a behind-the-scenes look at what's happening in the Gordon College cross-country and track and field programs. In this episode, we're talking to Jack Whittlesey after the Codfish Bowl and recapping that meet. But first, as always, Coach Miela, how's it going?
Dude, it's awesome. You know, you asked me that question. We've had, what are we on, episode 4 now?
Yes.
And, every time I'm like, yeah, it's good, great. But, here's the thing is, it really is. I'm not just saying that, in a pleasantry, right? It really is. Things are good here, man. And you can tell by the energy at practice. You can tell, just by everything that's going on in our program, how the kids are running. It's not just pie in the sky stuff. Like, it truly is. It feels like things are going really well here. So, yeah. Anyways, I think appreciate you asking.
Well, we'll get into the Codfish Bowl here in just a minute, but first, Coach, I understand that you had a question that you wanted my perspective on as an alum, and Jax as a current student here. What do you want to talk about?
I just think it's, and like I said, even building off what I was just saying there, right? Like, I think now I'm going into my second year here. Coach Luco here is, he just got here 2 months ago, and, you're an alum, and Jack, you're junior?
I am a junior.
Wow. So, I think we've got a lot of different perspectives, but I think we all, I don't want to speak for other people, but I think we all kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of that. This place really does seem like a special place to a lot of people. And even me, like I said, I'm not just saying I'm having a good day just to, fill airtime, right? It really is. Things are going really good here. So I'd like to hear, again, from all of you, like, what has made Gordon special to you in the time that you've been here, long or short. So, just whoever wants to take it.
You got it.
Well, I'll tell you, and I think I was telling you, actually, this, Coach, when we were having lunch together in May, right before summer began. There's a scene in Ted Lasso in season 2 when Roy Kent is on Sky Sports, and he's, transitioned into the pundit role after he retires, and he's watching the Richmond team warm up, and he just recognizes how much he misses it, even in the bitter cold winter, and says, "This isn't what I'm meant to do." He walks off the set, and he takes up Coach Lasso's offer to be an assistant coach. And I know you called me Coach Ben, kind of threw me for a loop when you first introduced me, because I feel like I'm only there at practice once a week, and I'm helping you with the podcast and some social media stuff. I don't know that I've quite earned that title yet, but regardless of that, just being a part of this community again, I don't think I really realized how much I missed it while I was home for a couple of years after graduation. Just everywhere I've been in my entire running career, I think the running community, generally speaking, is a very beautiful thing. Everybody is always very encouraging, even your opponents when you're running against other schools. I've never really had a super heated interaction. I've played a couple other stick and ball sports here and there, and obviously, things can get pretty tense and heated in direct competition there. Not that we're not fierce competitors in cross country and in track, but I think that the running community is a very special place, but particularly here at Gordon, at a Christian college with a Christian environment, I think it's just even more amplified in that regard, and that's what makes it very special.
Well, and before we throw it to Coach and Jack here, I think that even you, the way that you've invested in the program so far this year, I think that says a lot about the atmosphere, the community that we have here, right? The fact that you had that itch, you really wanted to come back, and obviously you got a job on campus, and that's one of the reasons that brought you back. But when alumni want to stay involved in the program that they were a part of, I think that says a lot about their experience, right? And again, and I think that that's a testament not only to our program, but to the greater atmosphere at Gordon. Because the more I'm here, the more I feel like our team is a reflection of the greater, campus community. And I think that's why we're such a welcoming group. I think that's why it's such a tight-knit, special group, is because that's kind of how the entire campus is. But I don't know. I don't know if any of you guys wanted to build on that.
Yeah, just kind of building off of what Ben said. I didn't think I was going A, to college, B, to Gordon, or C, to continue running after high school. And in that kind of the thought process, I didn't know that I was going to miss that part of running. At the end of the race, it's not like other sports, the person compliments you, like, thanks for pacing me, and I was going to miss that. So being able to continue that in college, that just kind of fell through for me, and it's been really cool with the team, being able to kind of expand with that.
Yeah, man. And if I could just bounce off of that, one more thing I just thought of as well. Jack, what you were mentioning about not being sure how much you were going to continue in the sport in college. I went to a very small high school. It's a long story. We don't have time for it right now. We only had a track team my sophomore year. So I only did a few meets there and didn't have a lot of experience in track. So Coach Weichert, my freshman year, just sitting down with all the runners and kind of taking them through his 4-year plan for developing how he develops an athlete over their time in college, and was just talking to me and said something along the lines of, and once we get into track season, and I stopped him, I said, well, actually, Coach, I'm not sure I'm going to do track because, I just don't have a lot of experience in that part of the sport, and, I want to focus on my academics, freshman year. And he didn't completely force me and twist my arm into doing it, but he really pushed me to reconsider. And then it was towards the end of the season, late October, early November, we were, on the track just doing some interval work, and I was running the fastest splits of my life, and I just kind of had this moment where I said, all right, I don't know how this is all going to work out, my scheduling and everything, but it's pretty clear I need to come back and run track. And I've told some of the athletes this as well. Like, I wouldn't care if the whole year was track, honestly, because I feel like I found my calling in mid-distance, because I don't have the raw speed to be a sprinter. Yeah. And I certainly have the endurance to finish an 8K, but I was never, one of our top 7 guys or anything. So loved doing cross-country, loved being a part of that, but the 8 and the 15 really became my favorite events, and I'm so glad that I reconsidered that and ended up doing track.
Totally. Well, and before Coach goes, the last thing I'll say, just building off that, is my approach has been, especially when it comes to recruiting, especially if you're a good athlete, you haven't had a lot of experience or something like that. It's just, I truly believe everybody can find a home on this team, whether that's mid-distance, longer distance, even, throws, jumps, whatever. And that's, I think our coaching staff tries to take that mentality of just taking you wherever you're at and building on that, right? Like, just moving forward and just saying, like, hey, like, we just want you to, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you love to do, making you the best version of yourself, and obviously using throwing or running to make that happen. But I don't know. So, Coach, in the limited amount of time that you've been here, what has made Gordon a special place for you?
Yeah, of course, going with the team, because that's that's the reason I came here, and it's been really, really insightful, and I've learned a lot, which has been great. It's the thing I like to focus on is just the interactions that each individual has on the team. The way they handle themselves around each other is just the greatest environment to be a part of. You will be able to find the most success out of yourself in a type of environment that we have.
Right.
And that just is like super exciting. And that comes from people before us doing the right things, getting things going. So we appreciate that. We appreciate our alums that have really put us in a great spot. And people show up with the intention. People show up ready to hang out with their friends and ready to go to work with their friends and just better themselves and see what they can do. I really appreciate seeing just how one or two people that don't always talk to each other can interact and just be so commonly collected. And it really is just a great environment to find another level. That's really been what's stuck out to me so far. And it just reassures that coming here was the best thing I could have done this year. And to move on and make the next steps in my life. But that's also really helping out other people to make great steps in their life. So awesome. It's been really enjoyable. I'm not trying to put pie in the sky either, man. It's onward, man. We're really going somewhere. So
it's
exciting.
Great. It's great.
All right, well, let's get into the Codfish Bowl. We had a meet this past weekend, and Jack, since you're here, I guess we'll start with you. You had a tremendous kick there at the end. I'd like to think I played a small role in helping you get past that Endicott runner, because I noticed as you were running the final quarter, you were about a half second behind a green shirt, and I said, just go get him, and
that's right.
Sprinted down towards the finish. I actually had one of the ushers pushing me back because I was getting too close to where all the runners were coming in, but wanted to make sure that you got him, and not only did you get that Endicott runner, it looks like you got a couple of UConn Running Club team members as well, or I don't know if they were behind you and they also got the Endicott runner, but whatever it was, you had a tremendous finish there, ended up just shy of breaking 30 minutes and 11 seconds. Take us through your race from start to finish and dealing with the change in the predictions in terms of the weather and how that played a factor. What was going through your mind during the race?
Yeah, I tried to find that Endicott runner afterwards. He paced me through the whole thing. I think his name's Dimitri.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Well, Dimitri, if you're listening, and we know that you are, please please send us an email, and we'd love to talk to you.
Thank you. Yeah, last year, taking this course at the Suffolk Invitational, I went out way too fast and burned on both Bear Cage Hills. So this race I was very intentful. I wanted to make sure I went in a controlled pace, and then I wanted to save energy in the first Bear Cage Hill to really let it out in the second. So a lot of the race was trying to figure out how to be more controlled. I remember splitting the first 3 miles closer to my 5K PR. I mean, that's a 0.1, but it was very encouraging because I split the first 3 and I still felt like I had a lot of energy to give it, which is perfect going into that hill.
Well, and if I could, I wanted to ask you a question too. You've PR'd, and I can't remember a race where you didn't run a personal best. I've been here obviously since last year. I mean, is that true? I mean, when was the last time you didn't run a personal best?
One of my motivations for PRing every race is to keep the record going of every single time I get in the coach's email at the end talking about PRs.
That's right.
Yeah, I try to get that email every single week.
Baby. I send those emails. It's motivating somebody, man. I love it. I love it.
So I've had. It's funny. My 2. I haven't. Last year I didn't PR at UNE, and then the first AK this year at Pop Crow I also did not PR.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's right.
But it was
close, though.
It was
right?
close.
Yeah,
Both races were
right.
about, I think, 10 seconds off of my PR, which was, I'm happy to start my season off 10 seconds off of it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think you've probably, you've probably made the email, the PR email more than anybody else on the team, so I think that's great.
Well, Cordon, I don't know if anything else stood out to you that you were noticing during the race there, but how was your Saturday?
Couldn't ask them to spend it better, man. Yeah, it really could be great that way. It was just like you get to wake up, you get to go to do watch something that you want to watch. I love watching cross country and track and field. It's just a hobby at this point. I love to see people compete and give it what they have for the day on lots of different levels. And what stuck out to me about the race, it was really just the consistency that our team was able to run at. I'm very pleased with that consistency because I know consistency yields breakthrough. And that is exactly where we want to be at this point in the season. So it gives me a good bit of confidence that we're doing the right things, people are showing up with the right intentions, and we're going to have a great future come championship season when the important medals are being handed out. So all throughout our top to the bottom, everyone's running pretty darn consistent. And that's just what I really asked for at this time of the season, and it was great to see.
I just got to say, dude, I've been excited since Cordon accepted this position. I've been excited for you to be here. And just the more I work with him, the more it just gets me excited. What he just said there, consistency breeds breakthrough, right? And that's honestly, gosh, I just love that because we've been talking about pound the stone all season, right? And that's what pound the stone really means, is that we know that when we're pounding the stone, it's not the 100th hit that splits the stone. It's the 99 before it that weakened it, right? And so we just got to keep believing that those breakthroughs are coming. And like I said, I think Cordon's I just love that, man. I love that you're thinking that way. That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I guess on the women's side of things, we should talk about that 5K a little bit. Rachel Brennan with another strong run, a podium finish, I guess you could say, in 3rd place overall in the women's race. What else stood out to you from that, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for Cordon to weigh in as well. I mean, I'll say a little bit, but I just think our girls raced well for the most part. Like, again, I think Rachel she got 3rd overall against there's some really good competition there, Yale, Tufts. So for her getting 3rd, for her is pretty solid. They got some sweet medals over at the Codfish Bowl, and sweet codfish trophy, which is definitely more motivating to come back next year to get. But I think Rachel raced smarter this week. Even Caroline ran Caroline ran 6 seconds off her college PR. Kim Poulos did PR, and she's been dealing with some health issues, so that I felt like that was really impressive as well. And so again, overall, the women's team, we haven't even had a race where I feel like we've been at full strength in terms of everybody getting a chance to race and everybody in that race coming in healthy, right? And so the fact that we ran smart and we were able to still run pretty well, I was pretty pleased with that, but I don't know if you had anything else.
Yeah, I was pleased with the execution that they had. Everyone was really showing up on the day and had a very elite day for themselves, I would say. Maybe one or two people were just a hair off of maybe what we could have gotten out for the day, but that's nitpicking, So
right.
It was really quality in that sense. And yeah, for our top two girls, they really ran well. They're putting themselves in a really good spot coming for the future. And then when Caroline came through as strong as I've seen her look so far, in my opinion, and just really on the verge of ticking off the next boxes to get to where she wants to be. And then our 4, 5, 6, just coming in, jostling it around and just competing. It was really good because everyone had some competition throughout the whole race. It was really good to see them make sure they beat people at the end and worked hard throughout the whole race. So
I love it.
It was a really good race to see.
Yeah.
All right, well, Coach, I want to have this discussion with you next time we're on here. I know we're coming up on probably 17, 18 minutes here.
We might have to invite Jack back. I know what you're going to talk about.
Next week is the Scott Trot.
Yep.
I'm starting to get nervous about that because I haven't run competitively on this course in like 3 years, but we'll see what I can do on Saturday for homecoming weekend. But next time we're together, I want to have a discussion about some comments that Noah Lyles made that sent some controversy throughout the NBA community and the track and field community as well regarding the World Champions debate. But we can save that for next week's episode and a teaser for everybody to tune into that. So.
Oh yeah, love a little cliffhanger for all our listeners.
To be continued.
That's right. All right.
Cool, all right. Man. Well, as always, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you next week to recap the Scott Trot.
That's right.